Hello there guys and welcome back to 100% Chelsea for my preview of the Chelsea vs Nottingham Forest game in the Carabao Cup in the League Cup, with the kickoff being at 7:45 PM UK time at Stamford Bridge tomorrow night. So starting off with the opposition, like I usually do. So on Nottingham Forest, if you didn't know, they're playing the Championship, you know, just division below the Premier League. They currently sit in 10th on 12 points after 4 wins and 4 losses in obviously 8 games. Last weekend, they got beat 2-1 by Wolves, and only a few weeks ago, they kicked Newcastle out of the competition with a 3-2 win at St James's Park. So, you know, that's why Forest are in this round of the League Cup. I think it's the 3rd round now. And only in 1 game this season so far have they not managed to score. And that was when Leeds beat them by 2-0. And Leeds currently sit on top of the Championship. The top goal scorer at the moment is Daryl Murphy with 4 goals. And that's really, you know, there's not much more to say about them. They're playing the Championship. They're currently a mid-table team, 4 wins, 4 losses. They score goals, seemingly. And, you know, it won't be too easy, but we should really get that win. Getting to Antonio Conte's press conference, which took place just a little bit earlier today, he said tomorrow is a very good opportunity for those players who haven't been involved much of late. Then he also indicated that both Charly Musonda and Kennedy could feature. He said the Brazilian deserves the chance. And he said it's clear to see Musonda's talent. The youngster is working very well to adapt to a physical league. And that Charly can play as a number 10, a winger, and even as a wing-back in the future. Not so sure about him being a wing-back, but you know, I suppose Conte knows better than I do. And something that he basically already confirmed in the post-match, you know, interview after the game against Arsenal. He now basically confirmed it again. Conte said it's now the right time for Eden Hazard to start a game. And he went on to describe Hazard as a top player and added he can still improve and become one of the best. So it's obviously incredible. Finally, Eden Hazard will start. I'm not sure whether he will then start against Stoke on the weekend as well, but he will start tomorrow, which is obviously good. Poor old Nottingham Forest. Eden Hazard finally gets his first start of the season when he's already looking good, and it's against Forest. Either way, I'm very much looking forward to seeing him start a game again, and hopefully he can get into the rhythm, get a goal or 2 as well. That would be class. After that, Conte said while he wants to give certain players an opportunity, the main aim is still to win the game and to progress, you know, in the competition, which is obviously, you know, would be bad if he didn't have that attitude, but, you know, it's important. Main thing is to win and to get through to the next round. Then he talked about Pedro, and he said Pedro is trying to recover from his injury that forced him to be substituted at half-time against Arsenal, so that's why he came off at half-time. But Conte doesn't believe it to be anything serious, so if he doesn't feature tomorrow, I'm pretty sure he will be back for the Stoke game on the weekend. Then he spoke about Bakayoko. Conte said he's in a good physical condition and I'm starting to adapt to our style of football, which is a very good sign. Not sure when exactly that interview happened, but Conte did give an interview speaking about Bakayoko, which was very interesting. And I'll run you through what he said in that interview very quickly. So he said, I think obviously Bakayoko, is a good player. He's only 22 years old. Don't forget this. He has a lot of room for improvement in the tactical aspect. Also in the physical aspect, he's working very well and he needs a bit more time than other players to understand our style of football very well. Which I'm not sure what does that indicate he's not very smart. I'm not gonna, you know, say that's what he meant, but I don't know. Anyway, then he said, above all, if you're a midfielder, you need time to understand the right position. We try to play with an identity, and if you want to give an identity to your team, every single player needs to know your idea of football very well. I'm very happy because he's improving a lot. In the last 10 days, he improved a lot in the tactical aspect and also in the physical aspect. He's a powerful player for sure and a good signing for us. To have a powerful player in your team is very important, and above all, in this league. This league is very tough physically, and if you're not prepared for this impact, you can suffer a lot. For sure, I'd like to play with him, but now it's impossible. Not now. I think he's very close to being totally involved in our idea of football. He can improve a lot with the ball. We're working about this aspect. Bakayoko without the ball is a really strong player, a physical player. You can feel him during the game, but I think he can improve a lot with the ball. So yeah, that's basically what he said. I just quote Conte what he said in an interview, and I find it very interesting that basically because Bakayoko isn't ready yet and isn't perfectly adapted to our style of football is the reason why he didn't start a game like against Arsenal. Basically, he just started against Spurs because he had to, because we had no one else. But that's why he doesn't seem to be starting any games at the moment. But I think that's very interesting, although he says that at the same time, as soon as Bakayoko came on against Arsenal, was a lot better in midfield. So I'm not sure, but obviously Conte sees him every day in training and just knows better. And the last thing he said in the press conference was that we have great respect for Nottingham Forest. They play good football and we have to pay attention. But yeah, that was it from the press conference. Now coming to Chelsea, talking about us, talking about my predicted lineup and also my match predictions. Obviously, these cup games are always very difficult to predict the lineup for. If you've seen the stream with me and Brandon last night, we quickly went through the lineups that we think will play or that we want to play kind of thing. Now, obviously, I have a little bit more of information after the press conference, but it's still very difficult to predict. Now, starting off in goal, I'm pretty sure Willy Caballero will get his first start for Chelsea in goal. You know, it would be strange if Thibaut Courtois started again. And the back three is where it gets difficult already. Cahill will probably start, as he missed obviously the 3 games before Arsenal due to suspension, and should be just fine to play a few more consecutive games now. As let's be honest, Conte will probably start him as well against Stoke, especially with David Luiz being suspended now. And information for you lot, I'll actually be at the Stoke game, which will be my first ever Premier League away game, and I'm buzzing already. Can't wait. Very much looking forward to that. Getting to the other 2 centre-backs. Well, although Christensen will probably play all the games Luiz is suspended for, as Christensen seems to be basically the direct replacement for David Luiz in that central centre-back spot, Christensen is young. He can play a fair few games, and he won't play Madrid next week anyway, as David Luiz is obviously not suspended for the Champions League, so I think Christensen will start tomorrow and the weekend. But the third one is the most difficult one, because will it be Rudiger? Probably yes, but it could be someone like Clark-Salter possibly. But to be honest, I doubt it. Conte has never, doesn't seem to be a manager that just throws in someone that hasn't even been in his squad ever. So that would surprise me. But it could obviously be Clark-Salter, but I expect it to be Antonio Rudiger. Coming to the wing-backs, Davide Zappacosta will certainly start. It's just a question whether Kennedy will start as well, or just get a few minutes, as Conte said he could feature. Either way, main thing in my opinion is that Alonso gets a rest, because he played every game so far. Yes, he didn't feature in the international duty with Spain, but he still played every game for us so far. So if Kennedy doesn't start, play either Moses or Zappacosta on the left and the other one on the right. But I'm hoping for Kennedy to start, mainly to rest the others, so I'll put him in my lineup. Then coming to central midfield, I'm pretty sure Bakayoko will start, but what about the other spot? That's difficult. Carl Scott maybe? He obviously got a few minutes in pre-season. I think he was in the squad for a few games at the start of the season as well. Fabregas could start again, as against Forest. He will probably have a lot more space than he did against Arsenal, for example, and he will probably play very well. Or will it be Kante? You know, he doesn't even know how to be tired, so it's difficult to say. I just have a feeling that he will start Fabregas again. I don't really know why, but I think it would just be stupid to start Kante and Bakayoko to start a more defensive midfield pairing against Nottingham Forest than we did against Arsenal. And it would just massively surprise me if he did start Kyle Scott, so I think it will be Bakayoko and Fabregas. And coming to the front three, well, like Conte said, Hazard will start. Batshuayi, I'm sure, will start as well. It's just a question of, will Musonda start or not? He didn't even make the bench against Carabao after, the Instagram post basically indicating that he would at least play. He didn't even make the bench, which I found very strange. So as Pedro isn't at 100%, obviously, with his ankle injury that he picked up against Arsenal, it will probably be Willian to start the game and Musonda to come on later, although I'm very much hoping for Musonda. But I won't put Musonda in my predicted lineup because I did that against Carabao and it didn't happen. So I'm not going to put him in, but I very much hope for Musonda to start. So that's my predicted lineup. Willy Caballero in goal, the 3 centre-backs, Antonio Rudiger, Andreas Christensen and Gary Cahill, 2 wing-backs, Kennedy and Zappacosta, 2 centre midfielders, has Fabregas and Timo Bakayoko, and the front 3, Eden Hazard, Michy Batshuayi, and Willian, and kind of Musonda, but Willian. Now coming to my match prediction, as we don't have many real youngsters to start at the back, our defence will be strong, so I expect a clean sheet. My prediction is 3-0. I don't know, it's difficult to predict. Last year when we played Wolves in the FA Cup, that was a very difficult game, They played very well and, we needed a strong game by some of the players to actually win that game. Yes, there was away from home. Wolves were doing worse in the Championship last season than Nottingham Forest are doing in the Championship right now. So, I don't expect it to be an easy game. I don't expect us to score, say, 5 or 6 goals. But I do expect us to beat them convincingly, as, like I said, we don't really have that many youngsters to play, other than maybe Kennedy and Musonda. Everyone else is basically like a normal first-team player. As I said, I don't expect Carl Scott to start, so I do expect us to beat them, which is obviously everything you can do in a game like this. You can only beat what's in front of you, and the main thing is to progress, like obviously Conte said in the press conference. But yeah, that's it from me. Leave me all of your thoughts down in the comment section below. Leave me your predicted lineups. What do you think about my predicted lineup? Do you think I've got it right? What would you change? Leave me your match predictions down in the comment section below as well. And obviously any other thoughts that you have, just leave it down in the comment section below. Leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Massively do appreciate that. Also check out my social media links, which you can see over here. Last1507 on Instagram and Twitter. Follow me there. I'd massively appreciate it. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Up the Chelsea. And I'll see you next time.